everybody? It is Calxiyn here. If you guys enjoyed this video, you guys should subscribe, become patrons over on Patreon to support the channel, and follow us on social media. So, okay, let's talk about Jacques versus Robyn. Okay, we now have confirmation. If you guys don't remember, episode 1, there was a newspaper that said, Huntsman, like, hometown hero versus business tycoon. And we were just like, ooh, interesting. And they showed the picture of Robyn Hill, but we were like, who the fuck, like, why would they call Jacques a business tycoon and not Jacques fucking Schnee if it was Jacques, right? But catchy headline, whatever, you do you, newspaper and mantle, okay? Whatever. But now we know for sure because there was a poster in Atlas Academy and it said Robyn Hill versus Jacques Schnee watch party. So now we know for sure that it was Jacques. I'm sorry that it's not Marigold Hunter. Imagine!
I really am a Marigold stan.
But yeah, it really did make sense. Like, I thought it was Jacques too, but I was only skeptical because I was like, why would they not say his name? He is Jacques Schnee. Like, why would they not just say his, whatever. Like, I'm sure, like, they didn't want to give it away too early, maybe, and so the writers were putting in a hint to get us to speculate, or whoever did the art for the newspaper poster, but then by episode 2, they were like, okay, we're actually getting into this now, like, we're actually getting into Robyn and Jacques stuff, so we should put another clue, because we found it, sis, like, we found it, okay? It was a little hidden, like, we had to zoom right in, but it was there, and I'm, like, excited that they're sort of doing this, because there's so many little things to find, and I love when things that you found in the last episode sort of build on each other, and we're all, like, with our magnifying glass, we're just like, sis, like, what's going on, right? Let's talk about politics, because I am so confused, okay? We know that all the kingdoms have a council. These councils sort of mandate, like, what goes on in the city, help take care of the citizens, all that stuff. And we've only heard of the council one other time, when Ironwood is like, Ozpin, I reported you to the council. Like, Austin, like, told on him, basically. So each kingdom has their own council.
Also,
what has not been established is that...
Yes.
Sorry.
And also at the end of Volume 2, we get a call where they choose to have Atlas and James Ironwood run the thing, and you see 3 different faces there.
Sort of
so potentially, were those the other?
Was that the Atlas Council? Was it the Vale Council? Right, because they're on some sort of like Skype call and get Ozpin in trouble. Like that's basically what happened, right? But yeah, so we sort of heard about them there. It's also like we can sort of assume that Mistral had a council and that Lionheart was on the council in some capacity. But here's the thing, sis, okay? They have not established whether there is a president or sort of prime minister of the council. Because if you think about it, right, what I'm imagining is that there's 20 people on the council, all from businesses and like healthcare and all these sort of sectors that need a voice, right? And they all vote, and whoever gets the most votes wins, and then the bill gets passed, and there you go. But that doesn't seem to be very helpful, because the reason why you have a prime minister and like a president, like it's more than just a figurehead, right? Like just because everybody votes on something doesn't mean it's necessarily the right thing to do. Does that make sense?
So like, the way you said it first is kind of like the sort of the estate general. So the first estate is like the monarchy, and the second estate is the clergy, and the third estate is like the aristocracy, and the fourth estate is everyone else.
Right.
In sort of France after the revolution. That kind of sounds like what you're saying, where it's like we have the business people, and then we have the huntsmen, and then we have the generals. Because that's
like, in a sense, it's a democracy. You have people that represent like the people from all different areas, and everyone votes.
But it's not a representative democracy. So, so a parliamentary system like we have in Canada, it would be everyone kind of like in that map we see at the beginning, all those are different ridings, and then people vote for a person there. Yeah. And then they go on
Let's clarify something for the Americans here. When I went to vote, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Because I like wanted to vote for somebody that was running for prime minister, but when you go to vote, you don't. You vote for the person in your area.
Neither of us could have voted for your area.
Like,
Justin
you don't
Trudeau.
vote for for Justin Trudeau. You don't vote for Justin Trudeau like you vote for, like, say, Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or whatever is going on in the States, right? You vote for the person in your area, and then they, like, the Liberals have an amount of seats because of everybody who voted.
So you don't vote for the person, you vote for the party, which in that case means that is Robyn have her own political party and Jacques Schnee have their own political party?
I don't think they do. Like, I don't think that's how it works. I think that they're gunning for a seat. Like, somebody died, like, somebody's sister snapped, like, somebody's dead, and now their seat is open for grabs, and so they're running for an election.
Which sounds like it's more of an American system of the elective and of going for the, the elective, 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 and of going for the executive branch.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The executive branch is basically the
Hunter.
president. So in that shot in the beginning, you see how there's those different, like,
Yeah.
they cut up the map. Those could have been writings in a parliamentary system, or it could have been like how they do in the States, how they count up everyone's vote in a particular area, and then they add them together, and after all, whoever has the most.
Because here's the thing. It seems like the reason why Ironwood is in charge is because he has 2 seats.
Yes.
Everyone else has 1 seat. He has 2, right? And so if he wants like, say things are tied, and Ironwood wants something over another thing, he has 2 votes, right? So he not only can he break the tie, he can like squash it, if that makes sense, right? Like he can sort of he can even make a tie if he wants to, if there's 2 votes short, or he can get something to pass, right? Like, you know what I mean? And so I was like, there is no prime minister, it's just about the seats. Robyn wants a seat so she can sort of bring up the concerns of the people of Mantle. Jacques wants another seat because Ironwood has 2, and Jacques wants 2 in order to compete with Ironwood. Because if Jacques has 2 seats, he can sort of rally the businessmen together and get them to pass stuff because he has an extra boost. Whereas right now, everybody's afraid of Ironwood because Ironwood only has 2 seats. That's how I was thinking of it, but I would like to say, the American system seems a little stupid because as far as I'm aware, you can have like a conservative president, if that makes sense, but you can have like democratic like people under you. And so if you're a conservative president trying to pass something, like the democratic, and you have like a democratic like they won't let you or something, they won't pass.
They have
and,
different elections for the Senate. So right now Donald Trump is a Republican and conservative president, but has a Congress that's mostly liberal.
Yeah, and so that's where I'm like, that's so dumb. Like, that's kind of dumb. And so we have parties, right? Yes. So if you have a liberal prime minister, you have a liberal sort of like majority.
Well, you could also have a minority.
Yeah, and so that's what happened to us, right? It's all very just confusing.
Anyway, so enough of that poli-sci lecture.
So basically, the first thing is, I don't think Jacques is running for president. That's what I'm trying to clarify. He wants another seat.
Yes.
To compete with
Ironwood.
But
if he ran for president, he could also pass, because a prime minister and a president can pass kind of executive action. Yeah. So he could executive...
And so that's what I was thinking.
He could force an end to the dust embargo, and also Robyn could force, better working conditions for people.
And so obviously they're opposing. But you would think then, if it wasn't a running for prime minister situation, why wouldn't Ironwood just run as well? Right? That's why I think it is just going to stick to a seat, because Ironwood already has 2 seats. Like, I'm sure if it was for president, Ironwood would be like, all right, sis, let's go. Like, let's try this, right? But here's the thing. So let's talk about actual theories. I still like the theory that Robyn is Jacques' illegitimate child. Okay, I really like that because she's not a Schnee. Okay, the white hair gene passes through the mom onto the children. Like, that's how our understanding of it works. Basically, like, the mom has white hair, so all the kids have white hair, and the white hair is somehow tied to the semblance, right? So if you have the Schnee family semblance, you also have white hair. Like, that's how we sort of justified it, that, like, it's connected to the hair gene, or I guess the other way, like, it's other way around. Hereditary!
Yes.
Anyway, right? And so Jacques had black hair, and she's blonde with, I think, black eyebrows, and Winter also has white hair and black eyebrows, so I'm just like, maybe,
but she's like platinum blonde.
Yeah, she's platinum blonde, and so I don't know the genetics of that. I'm sure there are platinum blonde children where one of their, like, fathers or mothers has dark, like, really dark hair, but Jacques' hair is black. Like, his hair is black, and so, like, I don't know the statistic possibility of him having a platinum blonde baby, unless she dyed her hair, which is, like, we still don't know if, Neptune, does Neptune have blue hair, or does he dye his hair? We don't know. Like, we just don't know. It's
because they're humans, but they're not like us humans.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Is that, does genes and traits, like hair color, work how they do here?
Illegitimate daughter aside, I like the idea, and we thought of this during the analysis, is that Robyn went to school with Winter, because remember, they were all, the Forrest dude says this, that they were all students at Atlas Academy, and they could have gone into the military, but instead, they decided to fight for Mantle or something like that. And Robyn seems around the same age as Winter, right? And so I would say that there was Team Winter, WNTR or WITR, and Robyn was the R, and Winter was the leader, and that they used to be on the same team. I really like that. I really like that idea a lot. And so I feel like that would be a nice connection back, like connecting the story back to the Schnees without any more bastard children. Because at this point, Adam is Jacques' son. Robyn is Jacques' son. Like, we've had so many theories about somebody being Jacques' son or daughter.
And boy, we were not right about Adam.
No. So here's the thing. Tyrion is going after her. And we've talked about this in the analysis. But my question was sort of why? Because Jacques would lift the dust embargo. Like, who is more destructive, I guess, to win? That's what I'm saying. Like, would Watts want Robyn to win, or is he trying to rig the election so Jacques wins? And if Jacques wins, how does that help Watts and Tyrion? Like, how does that help what they're doing? Because Jacques wants to lift the embargo and do all this stuff, but wouldn't, like, okay, so Ironwood's plan is to make a tower go into the sky, like, right before the atmosphere so it doesn't fall out of space, but high enough to create a satellite. Great, good. Why would Jacques not want that? Jacques needs to communicate with the other kingdoms for his business. Like, wouldn't he like that? So wouldn't he support that idea from Ironwood even if the embargo is lifted? Like, I don't understand yet how rigging the election in Robyn's favor or in Jacques' favor is good for the bad guys. And I'm sure we will understand as we progress, because we don't know how destructive Jacques would be in power, right? And I don't know if Jacques and Watts are working together, or like we had another theory about them being related. Everyone says they're related to Jacques, right? But it seems like if Tyrion is going after her, Tyrion wants to kill her. And we had a sort of theory that the reason why Tyrion is going after people, like our theory from last episode was that the person who Tyrion killed was the journalist, and they're trying to do things that make Ironwood look bad, right? Like, for example, when the journalist was killed, Watts had turned the camera down so Tyrion couldn't be seen. So it's like, these cameras survey the citizens all the time, but when the journalist was murdered, they went down. Coincidence? I think fucking not. Like, they're doing bad things to pin it on the military. So what if Tyrion is going to kill Robyn, and that's her usefulness? That is why they would rig the election in Robyn's favor. Okay, picture this. They rig the election in Robyn's favor and then go to kill her. So it looks like that the military, like, retaliated and they wanted Jacques to win, and so they kill her, and that would have people, like, outraged. And that would be, like, maximum negativity for the Grimm. If Robyn won the election, everyone's so happy, and then she turns up murdered. Okay, because the military killed her, sis. Like, I feel like that would be such a good plan, like, genius. And that would mean that they're actually fighting against Jacques, and I feel like that's sort of interesting, because we talked about, like, sort of, like, what if Watts, like, tried to coerce sort of Weiss into, like, going against Jacques together. Like, we sort of had that theory, and so the question sort of becomes, like, I think that that would be a much better plan for maximum negativity, instead of Watts just being like, I want Jacques to win. I feel like making Robyn win so they can then take her away and rip her away from the people. Damn, like, that's such a good idea. RWBY,
I feel like then that would be the second time RWBY had, like, a revolutionary female character that gets whacked.
Well, whacked by Tyrion. So it's different this time. It's not by somebody else who wants her place. Tyrion just wants to kill her.
My guess was that they would choose, I mean, one of two options. I mean, I guess no, they probably, like, that opening really hints at them
going after Robyn and kill her.
Or going after the election. So my guess is that they would choose Jacques because potentially Jacques won't change the kind of dismal conditions in Mantle.
I guess, and that will make Mantle negative. And that's
continuing negative. I mean, your idea of, like, an assassination would be pretty out there.
It would be
maybe good. Like, forcing, like, a violent revolution will be really good for, so having, like, they rigged the election, like, Robyn, let's get Robyn and her happy huntresses and, like, let's go fight, like, Mantle versus Atlas. Yeah, that could be really good.
Like that too, sis. Okay. I think we've said some good ideas
But
here.
Do you think that Jacques gonna play fair? Like, I feel like he's gonna do something.
I think if Tyrion didn't kill the journalist, Jacques did. Like, 100% Jacques did it. Sorry.
My thing is potentially, like, maybe he getting...
Because think about it. The Schnee Dust Company gets bad press. That's bad for business. Kill the journalist. Yeah. Easy. 1 + 1 = 2. Like, that's the easiest answer. Do
you think Jacques will try to then maybe whack Robyn without the influence
Tyrion seems to already be trying to...
In the opening,
whack Robyn in the opening. But I don't know, maybe...
But is Tyrion trying to whack Robyn, or is Tyrion trying to... Why are we saying whack so often? Try to whack
Crow and Robyn just
happen to be in the room. Because they're drinking buddies.
I have time for this. That's the other thing.
They used to be bros.
We did a video about Robyn. Still
Yes.
would love her to turn into a bird. Still would love her to be Crow's ex-girlfriend. Still would just love that for them. Okay, for her to be part of the bandit tribe or something, because we talked about that in that video. I want her and Crow to be like bros, if that makes sense. Like to be like, I don't want her to be super like butch in terms of personality.
I want her to be like charismatic, like a man of the people.
She's lovely, charismatic,
hero.
talented. But what I'm saying, I mean for her to act, I don't want to say bro-y because that has a bad connotation, but with Crow, like sort of like, I bet I can take this shot. Like, I bet I can do
like
5 shots.
Kind of like
Sun.
Exactly.
I want her to be like Sun, but
New
for Crow.
Sun.
Yeah, like, you know, sort of like if they're drinking, it's like, I bet I can do 2 more shots than you can. Like, I just want them to have
Robyn
this
drinks Crow
friendly,
under the table.
yes, exactly. Even if they didn't used to date, I just want them to have that relationship so bad, but I don't know if they will, sis. Okay. That's it, guys.
I think I actually prefer that relationship where they're good friends and like Crow, like you getting laid and then they can be like, what about Ironwood? Like, are you banging my political opponents?
Oh dear. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. Thank you to all the patrons over on Patreon who support our channel. Their names will be showcased now.